in POK region. Why is it then she's highlighting these challenges? Because most of them, these challenges that Sana Mir speaks of, are inflicted by the Pakistani administration and Pakistani army themselves. Vineet Ramakrishnan, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details on this. Vineet, we've seen the kind of reactions that have come to the fore, the controversy that she evoked with her comments, the clarification that came to the fore. But what next? Would the BCCI push forth to seek action, perhaps seek a censure on her?
Well, her clarification was more of a justification on the very fact that she did not do her research properly. If she is a Pakistani cricketer, she should know about her players better, but she retorted to putting the blame on a cricket website where the information of Azad Kashmir was available. On the point of what the BCCI or ICC could do, well, look, ICC has pretty much clear conduct in terms of how a commentator should behave. They advocate for neutrality, avoiding political statements and sticking to cricket. Here, Sana Mir has politicized this issue. She may say it is inadvertent, but she did politicize this issue. So ICC has every way of looking at it and holding up Sana Mir, the commentator. We have seen it in the past as well. Various commentators in the past have been held up. They have been sacked of their jobs as well. Sanctions have been put on for for political comments, for racial comments of that note. So if at all, BCCI or ICC look this up, they have a case against Sana Mir here. But on Sana Mir itself, you have to look at the fact that Sana Mir is not just any other commentator who spoke about the Pakistan issue or the Azad Kashmir part just out of ignorance. She is a former women's cricket captain of Pakistan. She is an ICC Hall of Fame inductee, and very interestingly, she also has a military background growing up. So she understands the intricacies of what her statements are, and yet she went ahead and made those comments. She did clarify that it was did not want to hurt any sentiments, but again, it happened. It was on world feed, on a global, feed on a global tournament like this. To put out statement like this is quite ignorant and quite irresponsible from Sana Mir's part.
Right, Vineet, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. We'll, of course, keep a track of what transpires. But as far as controversies between India and Pakistan on the cricketing field is concerned, no handshakes, no pleasantries, and that will continue. The Indo-Pak cricket rivalry has taken another tense turn. Harmanpreet Kaur's India is set to follow the men's team's precedent. We will be skipping the customary handshake when the two face each other off in the Women's World Cup clash in Colombo this Sunday.
Following the precedent set by the Indian men's team at the Asia Cup in Dubai, Harmanpreet Kaur's India are likely to skip all customary handshakes with Pakistan during their Women's World Cup clash in Colombo on October 5th. The standoff comes after the PCB chief Mohsin Naqvi refused to hand over the winner's trophy to Suryakumar Yadav in Dubai after the men's team had rejected handshakes with Pakistan players throughout the tournament. Now, the BCCI says the same policy could be followed by the women. No handshake at the toss, no photo shoot, and no end of the game pleasantries.
We can only control one thing, which is, playing cricket on the field, and other than thinking, other things. Because as a cricketer, we can only control the things we have in our hand. But other parts, I have zero control, and I don't even, take those things on the mind, or we don't even discuss those things in a dressing room. We are only here to play cricket, and our focus is only on cricket.
While the ICC has no official rule on handshakes, a senior BCCI official told PTI that the board is aligned with the government and won't deviate. BCCI Secretary Devajit Saikia added that India will follow all cricket protocols but refused to assure any handshake, calling Pakistan a hostile country.
On that note, it's time for a quick break on this edition of Nation at 5, but news and updates continue here, so don't go anywhere.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Okay, big breaking news coming in, shifting our focus to the latest information that's been shared by Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh. He says 4 to 5 F-16s were destroyed on ground. So he is making a direct reference to Operation Sindoor. Big message coming in from the Indian Air Force Chief. Anand Narsimhan joins us with more details. Yes, Anand, what more do we know?
Well, this is big because the Air Marshal Amarpreet Singh now divulging vital details on Operation Sindoor. The Air Force Chief very clearly saying that most likely 4 to 5 jets, the F-16s, Pak F-16s were destroyed in their hangars. That's what has happened. In those 20 minutes that Bharat struck 9 air bases, there was huge amount of destruction and damage for the Pakistanis. This is clearly not just pummeled and steamrolled Shehbaz Sharif and the Pak propaganda, but these are absolute numbers. On ground, 4 to 5 most likely F-16s, Pak F-16s have been neutralized on ground. They may have been in their hangars for maintenance or otherwise, but they were kept, and those assets have been neutralized along with control and command stations and also runways. This is the ground strikes, all achieved in 22 minutes. In that time, all those 9 air bases were struck. But more importantly, he's also said along with that, one SAM system that has been destroyed. And these are strikes that have destructions that have taken place on ground. SAM system is a surface to air missile system, has been destroyed. Also, further saying that the Indian Armed Forces have clear evidence of one long-range strike, which he says I talked about, more than 300 kilometers, which happens to be an AWAC. So, an air reconnaissance system that the Pakistanis had deployed, and this was a Chinese AWAC system, we are given to understand, was destroyed. Along with that, 5 fighters, high-tech fighters. So this is on air and on ground, absolute, total, complete decimation of the Pakistani military and its braggadocio, all pummeled within minutes. In 90 hours, 2 big strikes. The first strike taking about 22 minutes when the terror infrastructure was demolished, and then just about 24 hours to 36 hours later, then the counter strikes using the BrahMos cruise missiles and pinpoint destruction of 9 air bases that forced the Pakistanis on their knees, and they had to put their hand up and say, smoke the peace pipe. That's what's happened. Now the Air Chief Amarpreet Singh putting out those details there in that briefing. We'll play out that soundbite also and that portion where he's spoken about not just the destruction that has happened on ground, but also the destruction that has been meted out to the Pakistanis, forces on air. So an AWAC system, 5 high-tech fighters destroyed on ground, a SAM system that is a surface-to-air missile system, and most likely 4 to 5 Pak F-16s. So the F-16s of the Pakistani military have also been destroyed, along with multiple command centers across air bases, and some of those air bases, viewers, still are NOTAM. That means there is no traffic, no air traffic, and it cannot be used for operations. Operations are still suspended at some of the key air bases because of the damage that Bharat had unleashed under Operation Sindoor. So, contrary to the Pak braggadocio and Pak propaganda, false one at that, including their Prime Minister who have gone ahead and made these statements, this is what the Air Chief is revealing. These are the details that we need to focus on. Yes, there were aircraft destroyed, but these were of the Pak military. Yes, 4 to 5 aircraft could not even...
Welcome back to Nation at 5. We have some breaking news that's coming in, and this is politics that has broken out over Army Chief's statement on showing no restraint if there is a Sindoor Operation 2.0. UP Congress State President has now gone on to say that the CDS says something, the Army Chief says something else, and that there are different statements given out in different ways, clearly indicating that there is something fishy. Ajay Rai then going on to say that the truth and reality should be brought before the country.
देखिए बार बार सफाई देना, बार बार देश की जनता के सामने ऐसे बात रखना, इससे साबित होता है कि भाई गड़बड़ तो है। अब गड़बड़ क्या है, कभी कोई सीडीएस कभी कुछ अलग बयान देते हैं, सेना प्रमुख अलग बयान देते हैं, तमाम तरीके से इनके तमाम आला अधिकारी अलग बयान देते हैं। इससे ये साबित हो रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं मामला गड़बड़ है। अब इसको पूरी तरीके से देश के सामने आके सारी बातों को कहना चाहिए कि असलियत क्या है और सत्यता क्या है, ये देश को बताना है।
Payal now joins us, getting us more details. Payal, this is not the first time that we've seen anybody within the Congress or the India bloc raise questions over what the armed forces have said. But many a times in the past, it has only backfired for them. This is another comment coming in from the Congress.
Well, I don't know why Mr. Ajay Rai is saying what he's really saying. Essentially, Poonam, today when the IAF chief spoke, he said, let Pakistan make this speculation. Let's not read into the speculation. He also very subtly said, does Pakistan have any proof to show that they had downed Indian jets? The answer certainly is no. Do we have proof that we've downed their jets? There are plenty of pictures that are attached. And if you remember that, when the Prime Minister was speaking about Operation Sindoor, he mentioned the fact that thankfully we have photographic evidence and we have video evidence, so there are no questions that are asked back home as well. Why is the Congress party doing this at such a juncture? Nobody really understands. But it has become a fashion of sorts for the opposition party, whether it's the Congress party or the Aam Aadmi party, multiple people in the past to question the armed forces and question how many jets we had really lost. Rahul Gandhi had in fact led this from the front when he basically wanted to know and wanted to find out what really was the actual picture as well. On one front, our Operation Sindoor is not complete, it's on hold. And anytime that Pakistan doesn't behave itself, we will be not shy to in fact hit back at them. That's exactly being articulated in as many words by the army chief, by the IAF chief, and also by the Raksha Mantri himself. Essentially, Raksha Mantri going on to say that Pakistan will be forgotten from the geographical map of the world, if they have to continue to meddle with India. So, let's trust our forces, let's trust our armed forces, let's trust our, our soldiers as far as their bravery is really concerned, because they are the ones who are actually laying the ultimate sacrifice for the country. It's no politician who's going to the borders to fight.
Right. Payal, do stay on with us. So the BJP has already reacted to these comments coming in from the Congress party. Let's listen in.
कांग्रेस has only one पहचान, करो सेना का अपमान and do Pakistan का गुणगान. Congress party in its Modi Virod has now become Sena Virodi, and once again it has doubted the armed forces. After questioning surgical strike, Balakot airstrike, demanding proof on that, Khoon ki dalali, now Operation Sindoor, which was called Chutput failure surrender, despite evidence after evidence being given by the armed forces, the Congress is doubting it. Ajay Rai is saying something is wrong, something is gadbad. Why clarifications are being given? Today, through Operation Sindoor, we've seen a new normal being set. How inside a nuclear power nation, we went in, destroyed terror camps, 9 of them, 11 military bases, and we downed 5 of their jets, F-16s, J-17s. We've seen how the manner in which radars, AWACS, their hangars, all of this was destroyed. Largest surface-to-air hit. These are huge achievements, but instead of lauding the armed forces, those who called Sadak Ka Gunda for Army Chief, those who denied Kargil Vijay Divas for 5 years, those who denied our armed forces Rafales, National War Memorial, OROP, is once again targeting the manobel of our armed forces, saying that something is wrong, something is gadbad. How many jets were down? Rahul Gandhi had also raised this issue. His entire party went and said that Sindoor was a failure. It was chutput. It was not a big deal. Why time and again they echo the Pakistani narrative on issue after issue? They give clean chit to Pakistan in Pulwama, in 2611 in Pelgam, and when the armed forces takes action, they doubt it. These are the people who gave most favored nation status to Pakistan, did not take any action despite Fali Major saying so. And today when Muhtod Jawab is being given.
Now, Payal, the BJP is already reacting, but are we expecting to see them take this one step forward?
Definitely the BJP will be mounting their attack further as far as Congress party is concerned, because the BJP has always been of the opinion that Congress ka haath videshi taakaton ke saath. That is exactly what is being said about Rahul Gandhi going abroad and talking bad things about India, talking about the fact that India is in a state of danger. These are the same political parties, Poonam, who've questioned Balakot, who've questioned Puri, who've questioned all the revenge that India has taken and taught Pakistan a lesson. But this time around, when we had Operation Sindoor, we mounted cameras and we had the pictures in places well. So there's not much that we can really do. Pakistan has been trying to peddle multiple lies, has been trying to peddle multiple narratives as well. Why are we falling for it? Why are we trusting Pakistan and what Pakistan is saying? Has any Indian establishment guy come out and really said that we've lost so many jets? That is the only thing that we need to really believe. Is there any proof like the IF head said? The answer certainly is no. But we have enough proof to show that yes, we destroyed all the terror camps. We destroyed their air bases. We've done enough damage to Pakistan that they will find it a little difficult to recover, and therefore the Pakistani side is absolutely rattled. They're trying to use these gimmicks even on the cricket pitch and on the cricket floor, a field also that we've seen. But Pakistan has been given its due response and will continue to be given its due response. Raksha Mantri, the Indian Armed Forces, all have been articulating into as many words. The Prime Minister also said that it is not for the civilian government to decide what needs to be done. That entire freedom was given to the armed forces to choose the timing in the place of their choosing, so that we could actually teach the Pakistani establishment a lesson that nobody's really taught them. Let's trust the armed forces. Let's support them. Let's not speak in this language. That is something which the BJP will continue to maintain. However, they will continue to attack Rahul Gandhi and the Congress establishment for questioning the bravery of the armed forces in every action that India has taken.
Right. Payal, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. We'll keep a track of whether this comment from Ajay Rai becomes a full-blown political war between the Congress and the BJP. For now, though, it's time for a quick break here on this edition of Nation at 5.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Okay, big breaking news coming in, shifting our focus to the latest information that's been shared by Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh. He says 4 to 5 F-16s were destroyed on ground. So he is making a direct reference to Operation Sindoor. Big message coming in from the Indian Air Force Chief. Anand Narasimhan joins us with more details. Yes, Anand, what more do we know?
Well, this is big because the Air Marshal Amarpreet Singh now divulging vital details on Operation Sindoor. The Air Force Chief very clearly saying that most likely 4 to 5 jets, the F-16s, Pak F-16s were destroyed in their hangars. That's what has happened. In those 20 minutes that Bharat struck 9 air bases, there was huge amount of destruction and damage for the Pakistanis. This is clearly not just pummeled and steamrolled Shehbaz Sharif and the Pak propaganda, but these are absolute numbers. On ground, the 4 to 5 most likely F-16s, Pak F-16s have been neutralized on ground. They may have been in their hangars for maintenance or otherwise, but they were kept, and those assets have been neutralized along with control and command stations and also runways. This is the ground strikes, all achieved in 22 minutes. In that time, all those 9 air bases were struck. But more importantly, he's also said along with that, one SAM system that has been destroyed, and these are strikes that have destructions that have taken place on ground. SAM system is a surface to air missile system, has been destroyed. Also, further saying that the Indian Armed Forces have clear evidence of one long-range strike, which he says I talked about, more than 300 kilometers, which happens to be an AWAC. So an air reconnaissance system that the Pakistanis had deployed, and this was a Chinese AWAC system, we are given to understand, was destroyed. Along with that, 5 fighters, high-tech fighters. So this is on air and on ground, absolute, total, complete decimation of the Pakistani military and its braggadocio, all pummeled within minutes. In 90 hours, 2 big strikes. The first strike taking about 22 minutes when the terror infrastructure was demolished, and then just about 24 hours to 36 hours later, then the counter strikes using the BrahMos cruise missiles and pinpoint destruction of 9 air bases that forced the Pakistanis on their knees, and they had to put their hand up and say, smoke the peace pipe. That's what's happened. Now the Air Chief Amarpreet Singh putting out those details there in that briefing. We'll play out that soundbite also and that portion where he's spoken about not just the destruction that has happened on ground, but also the destruction that has been meted out to the Pakistanis, the forces on air. So an AVAC system, 5 high-tech fighters destroyed on ground, a SAM system, that is a surface-to-air missile system, and most likely 4 to 5 Pak F-16s. So the F-16s of the Pakistan.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nation at 5. There are 2 states which are grappling with deaths within children. This is over a spurious cough syrup that has now triggered an alarm in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan. In fact, the death toll linked to this cough syrup reportedly in Madhya Pradesh has now risen to 9. There are 3 deaths that have been reported from Rajasthan as well. Both states have now launched their investigations into the matter. The Drug Control Department in Jabalpur raided the Kataria Pharmaceuticals, which is a supplier of this cough syrup. The samples were then seized and sent for testing. In fact, Tamil Nadu Drugs Control Department has now banned the sale of this particular cough syrup after similar reports were coming in from different states. Health Ministry sources are now confirming to CNN News 18 that the investigation is ongoing and that the state drug authority is leading this particular investigation. Blood reports from nearly 500 locals have come back negative for infectious diseases, which has eased concerns about an outbreak. The inquiry continues as authorities probe the cause behind these deaths. In fact, we have some breaking information that's now coming in. The Central Health Ministry has ruled out any infection in the area. Like I pointed out, that several samples were taken, at least 500 of them. There were blood tests and water samples that were taken from a certain area to ascertain the reason behind the deaths of these children. We're given to understand that the Health Ministry has now come out with a statement to say that there is no trace of any infection in this particular area, that it's not an outbreak. Sharon, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details on this. Sharon, what more can you share with us?
Well, Poonam, right now what we are observing is that Health Ministry has officially, in fact, given a clean sheet to the cough syrups that was used in Rajasthan as well as in Madhya Pradesh that could have, that has been linked to the death of these children. Around 12 children have lost their life. And right now the Health Ministry says that the toxic contamination components have not been found in any of these cough syrups, be it Madhya Pradesh or be it Rajasthan. Apart from that, they also have been saying that NCDC had conducted a further investigation into the blood sample, the CSF sample, as well as the water sample. They too have not found much as far as the infection in these areas are concerned. But at the same time, Health Ministry has confirmed that out of all these cases, one sample has been found positive of a bacteria, which is in fact caused, it's an illness that is caused due to the contamination of water and soil. Specifically when animal pee is mixed in the soil and water and it gets in touch with adults or children, it causes this particular bacteria. That could have caused the death, but as of now, that too is not confirmed because only one positive case of that bacteria has come out. So further investigation is being done. More water samples and more blood samples are being collected from these areas because right now, both cough syrup has been ruled out and infectious diseases have been ruled out as the cause of death. So the Health Ministry wants to be very sure as what could have led to the death of these 12 children.
Right. Sharon, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Let's listen into some reactions that have poured in.
सरकार की ओर से मामले की विस्तृत जांच कराई जा रही है और जो भी दोषी होंगे उनके खिलाफ कठोर कार्रवाई की जाएगी, ऐसा सरकार ने तय किया है। लेकिन मैं समझ सकता हूं कि CMHO भरतपुर का भी बयान आया है, उसको भी देख लिया जाए और पूरे मामले की तहकीकात करके इसके गहराई तक जाकर के निर्णय लिया जाए। जब जांच होगी तो सारे विषयों की जांच होगी, कब डिबार हुई, कब इसके टेंडर हुए, कौन टेंडर करने वाला था, आखिर उसकी सप्लाई में कहाँ दिक्कत आई, ये सारी चीजें जांच का विषय है। जांच करने के बाद
कंपनी के अलावा जो दवाई थी वो भी दिल्ली में बैन थी 2021 में, उसी दवाई को यहाँ पे मुफ्त दवाई योजना में शामिल किया गया।
जांच कमेटी की जो जांच रिपोर्ट आ जाएगी उसके बाद ही किसी हल पर पहुंचा जाएगा। और मैं निश्चित रूप से कह रहा हूं कि राजस्थान में आम जन के हित में जो निर्णय होंगे वो निर्णय किए जाएंगे।
Moving on now to some breaking news that's coming in. Windtrack Inc., an importer of niche electronic gadgets, healthcare and lifestyle products, has announced closure of all its import and export operations beginning this month. They claim this is in view of relentless harassment by Chennai customs officials, the government authority that clears imports into India. Customs Zones Chennai has, of course, denied these allegations, saying that the company has an established pattern of false corruption allegations. But the Finance Ministry is now looking into these allegations that have been made by this company after they have ceased all operations. In fact, CNN News 18 has spoken with the founder of Windtrack Inc. Listen in.
But the Chennai Customs has denied your statement. They say, or they in turn say that you have an established pattern of making false allegations and false corruption charges against the department. Your response to them, sir?
No. I completely refuse that. I have posted only 2 times against Chennai Customs, their bribery. In the month of January, I took down the tweet as a generic businessman who has gratitude after the issue is solved. Even on that occasion, the Chennai Customs did not accept that the officer asked bribe, but they told me I have misdeclared the product and I was made to accept a change that will result in higher duty. Eventually, I also accepted because I need to get the goods. So in the June, I have tweeted and the tweets are still alive in the Twitter. It's not deleted. And after that, now I'm not deleting it also, even whatever issue or consequences happen. So there is no pattern to this. So this is a hard truth. The officials refuse to accept it and they completely forget that from February to August or even September, all of the items that I have imported are same. Previously, they have cleared all my shipments. More than 20 shipments have been cleared. And why are they holding only this shipment? If I am wrong, if I have misdeclared, if I have done wrong, how the officers would have cleared all my previous shipments for the more than last 6-7 months? It's not only with Windtrack INC. I have created a new company and I have imported a shipment. Again, they have proved that bribe is uncontrollable.
The Ministry of Finance has taken cognizance of your complaint. They said that they will ensure that there is a fair and transparent probe into this. Have you heard from them? Have they reached out to the Revenue Department?
Chennai Customs has reached out to me yesterday through the Twitter DM, calling out for an inquiry to be present on 4th October, 10 a.m. And I have accepted it to be present there with all the facts and evidences. Honestly, in the previous incidents also, the officials never accepted their mistake. And even today, I'm afraid and I'm pretty much sure I will be made the scapegoat and I will be made to accept something, or some officers privately reached out to me through their sources, hinting that they would affect my other business, what I owned in India. They could give a raid and all other things. But I refuse them to delete any tweets of any officer name or anything. I said I stand firm by my words. I will not delete anything, because what harassment they have given to me and my staff and my company, what financial loss we have gone through, everything is man-made loss that is being on us. Because previously 20-25 shipments have been cleared and it's the same goods. None of it is different. And how they suddenly wake up to finding such mistakes overnight? It's clearly a case of harassment.
These allegations were made by that founder on social media on the 1st of October, after which Chennai Customs also responded denying those allegations. The Finance Ministry has also taken note of this. The Central Finance Ministry going on to assure that they will look into what exactly transpired, the allegations that have been made, also asserting their commitment to ease of doing business and ensuring that bribery is not tolerated in the system. Purnima, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details. Purnima, any statement coming in from the customs officials? They, of course, have responded to the founder of Windtrack, but what about putting out a public statement?
Well, the Chennai Customs has categorically denied the claims. They said that this is an established pattern of false allegations and corruption charges. However, because the finance ministry has taken cognizance of the complaint made by Praveen Ganeshan, he's been asked to appear before them on the 4th of October at 10 a.m. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But Chennai Customs continue to maintain that there's nothing wrong from their end, and they in fact blame Praveen Ganeshan, saying he's making false charges against our department. That's been the stance taken by the Chennai Customs, but all eyes on how the investigation pans out. On the 4th of October is when he will be appearing before the Chennai Customs. We'll have to wait and see what happens then.
So that's tomorrow when we'll find out more about what exactly is transpiring. But he actually did put out that sequence of events, isn't it? Beginning from Jan, of how much money they allegedly were asked to pay as bribe and what exactly transpired in the months later on.
Well, he says that there are several times when he has to face, he alleges that there are several times when he had to face this. Every time he needs something imported, then he has to pay 30 to 40% of the total amount, and that's not the only time. He says from January 2025 it started, and many times it's the same where they've been asked to pay at least 30 to 40% of the total import money. That's something that he says, and even when he started a company in his wife's name, once again he had to go through the same. So he alleges corruption is rampant in Chennai Customs, and he says over the last 6-7 months, he's also heard it from some of the others who are doing business. That's something that he time and again maintains, that 30 to 40% of the total import money is something that he's reportedly paid as bribes, is the allegation he's put forth. We'll have to wait and see how the investigation now pans out.
Right, do keep a track of that. But for the moment, Purnima, thank you so much. Shifting focus now to news from the world of entertainment. Priyanka Chopra turned her short Mumbai trip into a fashion extravaganza. She served 6 striking looks in just 2 days. I'm leaving you with that.
Priyanka Chopra's homecomings are never just quick drop-ins. They are a fashion takeover. Her latest trip to India was no exception, as the global ambassador for Bulgari delivered look after look while in Mumbai for work commitments. She touched down the city on September 29 and kept her airport look relaxed yet stylish in a lavender MSGM quad set, paired with a white crop top, sneakers, a beige tote, and tinted sunglasses. Soon after, she surprised everyone at Rani Mukherjee and Kajol's Durga Puja celebrations. Skipping the basic reds, golds and greens, PC made a statement in a striking blue suit set. Her Sobariko Seher tunic set featured a pure silk tunic detailed with Banarsi work, trousers finished with brocade at the hem, and an organza dupatta. This look was both regal and contemporary. Keeping the fashion momentum going, Priyanka then went for a softer and more romantic aesthetic in a cream lace ensemble. The ruffled high-neck top paired with a matching pant struck the perfect balance between daytime chic and evening glamour. Bulgari's iconic serpentine necklace and bracelet, along with subtle hoop earrings, tied the look together. She then made the whole of Mumbai stop and stare at the Bulgari store launch. Dressed in a sculpted glistening burgundy Matizevsky gown with dramatic draping and a cinched silhouette, PC looked beyond perfect. Black strappy heels and exquisite Bulgari jewels elevated her whole look. Okay, now we have the best one. For her red carpet appearance that followed the launch event, Priyanka chose a dreamy ivory corseted gown featuring a plunging boat neckline, pleated miniskirt with a sheer tulle overlay, and sweeping train. She paired it with a statement diamond necklace adorned with a huge striking ruby. The hair, the makeup, and everything about this look was just mesmerizing. And before jetting back to the US, Priyanka closed her Mumbai fashion diary on a casual note in a cool denim-on-denim outfit finished with a cap. Like we said before, Priyanka served a complete style journey in just a few days. Which one is your favorite? Share in the comments and subscribe to Shosha for more.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi's remarks on what he calls are fault lines within the Indian structure on foreign soil have once again placed the leader of opposition at the center of a national debate. Speaking at a university in Colombia, the country Colombia, Rahul spoke about how he believes India's democracy is under attack and our economy under threat. And while many of these themes are those that echo from his past statements, what's raising eyebrows and political temperatures back home is the fact that these